Do you remember a time when you were at the top of your game and then suddenly you hit a wall and you found yourself stuck? This is what we call a slump. Every person has experienced this, especially if growth is really important to you and you're out to get more out of life. Maybe you're currently in one. In this video, I'll teach you how to never ever experience another slump again. Nah, just kidding. It's impossible to fully avoid the slump, and we're gonna get to why in a bit. But what I will give you is a way to break through any slump and come back even better than before. And it's about time that you learn how to bust a rut. Let's get into it. First, let's better define what a slump is for our purposes. A slump is the sudden and severe fall in motivation and progress that you can't seem to recover from. Sudden, because you barely realize it's happened. Severe, because your momentum is completely evaporated and progress has come to a screeching halt. Something must be done. And lastly, can't seem to recover from, because it feels like there's no end in sight. This is by far the most painful and dangerous part of the slump. It's what causes people to give up prematurely, and it's what will stop you from experiencing your next level. But this part presents the opportunity, a point of leverage, if you will. This is the part we can actually do something about. By the end of this video, you'll be able to take full advantage of this. Just remember the word seem for later, since it's at the core of how we get our bounce back. But before we get to this, I want to talk about blocks. I'm talking Jenga blocks. Yep, Jenga. And the goal is to keep building upwards without causing it to fall over. The Jenga tower represents the current system that's driving your growth and progress. That system consists of habits, previous wins, confidence, and mindsets. All the good shit that propels you forward. Your meditation practice, your healthy caffeine addiction, your daily workouts, and all of the above. Just like in Jenga, we continue to push ourselves and our systems a little more, closer and closer to the edge, hoping that we don't topple it over. Some moves are more risky than others, but real growth requires some risk and uncertainty. So Jenga, mid-game, is like how we are in motion when we are not yet in a slump. During the game, we're focused on building or at least maintaining momentum, which is pushing upwards. Each move pushing, wiggling, experimenting, until...
And then that happens.
What is that?
That's your system breaking down. That's when you enter a slump. However, in Jenga, when the tower falls, no one's surprised. Everyone knew this would eventually happen. So, just as we expect the tower to fall, we need to expect our system to break down at some point and our momentum to stall. We need to expect a slump to eventually take hold. It's not if, it's when. But why can't we avoid these things? Like, life would be so much better if we could just win all the time. Life is unpredictable, yo. Also, you are human, right? No matter how consistent you think you are, no matter how many times you've read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, you will eventually experience a slump. You're just not bulletproof like that. Also, I want to clarify here, I'm not advocating for frequent burnout. This is a stressful thing. I'm just stressing that life can be very unpredictable, and no system is perfectly insulated from the variability of life. Shit will go down, whether it's caused by you or not. The journey of growth is jam-packed with missteps. Some of these unavoidable missteps cause slumps. That's just the nature of the beast. So, finally accepting that you will experience periodic slumps on your path to greatness is a requirement for continued progress. Getting better at busting a rut will allow you to continue to grow and progress for a lifetime, while reducing the probability that you'll give up on what you truly want before you get it. This topic hits very close to home for me. I go through numerous slumps a year. At least 2 of them are really deep ones. In fact, I found myself in one just before the new year hit a few weeks ago. Let's rewind to before it hit. I was flying high, right? Smashing milestones in my day job while shipping out decent quality YouTube videos at a somewhat regular pace, which is a huge win for me at this stage. I'd wake up at 4:30 and hit the morning hard with my cold shower and miracle morning stack. I had all day energy from start to finish. I'd even skip on lunch to get more done for my YouTube channel. I couldn't wait to wake up every morning and crush it. Life was moving. Then one day, it happened. And a week or so later, I found myself in a deep slump, which consisted of the regular low energy and no motivation to even hop out of bed, which in result disrupted my morning routine. Also, I ran up a slew of incomplete tasks, and it was only getting longer. I've hit the slump. What we really want to focus on is what we can do to start moving out of this slump. We want to focus on the actions that we can do to get past this and build the momentum back to what it was. So you're probably yelling at the screen at this point, how does one beat the slump? But before that, go ahead and like this video and subscribe for more moves, tools, and mindsets to live more effectively. How does one beat the slump? Easy. Just use the rewind button. Crap, my life controller doesn't even have that button. It's missing. Yours is probably like mine, so we're gonna have to use the next best thing. Let's jump back to Jenga. Remember, the tower represents your current system, all the good stuff that you got working for you. When the tower finally falls over, which it will, in order to keep playing, which is what we want, we need to rebuild the tower. How do we do this? Simple. Piece by piece. And that happens to be the same strategy for beating the slump. Nice. Don't attempt to rebuild the system in a one fell swoop. It's overwhelming and disheartening. It also takes a tremendous amount of effort since momentum is at an absolute low. Remember in the beginning of the video when I mentioned the point of leverage, the can't seem to recover from? That whole scene game is working against you when you're comparing yourself to the person that's running at top speed. But that's not working really well for you. When you look at someone operating at top speed, what you're actually seeing is a culmination of a system that was built piece by piece. They didn't just wake up and instantly have everything working in complete harmony. They built it over time, piece by piece. That somebody might have been you a few weeks ago. So which block should you work on first? Honestly, it doesn't really matter. Just move. In a slump, getting any momentum is a win. Building momentum is like riding a bicycle uphill. It's hard AF to get started. The initial pedals take the most torque, the most effort. Then, as you build momentum, the subsequent pedals are a lot easier. Although it still takes decent effort to keep moving, it's not nearly as difficult as the start. For me, my usual first block is getting in some physical activity. On really tough slumps, I find that running outdoors is fairly easy to commit to, especially if I start with just 5 minutes, which I usually end up going past it because what the hell, I'm already out there, right? When in doubt, exercise is by far the best bang for buck because it boosts your mood, elevates your energy levels, and helps regulate your sleep. All in one. It doesn't have to be running, just get moving. But like I said, it really doesn't matter. You can try making your bed, morning cold showers, journaling, reading. Just find an action that really feeds you and hopefully makes you feel great. You'll notice that once you find a strong enough starter block, it'll be easier to add other blocks on top of it. You're leveraging the benefits of the first one to make it easier to start the next one. Heck, you might feel good enough to even add more than one. You'll know when it's right to add on more. You'll feel a pull that simply craves more. So just because something seems that way doesn't mean it is that way. One way is to see the slump as a giant problem that you can't wrap your head around, not knowing where to start. Or you can narrow your focus on one action that you know you're capable of doing. Is this all making sense? It's about ditching the false safety of a consistent, untouchable system. It doesn't exist. Instead, develop the skill to come back from the inevitable slump again and again. If the idea of progression is starting to click, the next video is about how to leverage it and to get into flow state every single time. I'll see you there.